Every summer, I discuss who's going to bounce back and who might have scored too many points and who's remarkably consistent. By every summer, I mean I know I did it last summer. I'm pretty sure I did something similar the year before. Jeff Skinner. I know, Sabres fans, don't worry. I'm not picking on you guys. I promise. All right, there's enough going on. We're all Dwayne. I'm right there with you. Ownership sucks. So I want to look at Jeff Skinner because he's a curious case of everything possibly went wrong for him this year. Anything that could did. Now, he's the number 7 draft pick in 2010 by the Carolina Hurricanes. And right out of the gate, 31 goals, 32 assists, 63 points for him. He looks like a future megastar in the NHL that first year. He takes a step back in the second year. He plays 18 games less, gets 19 less points. But he's still on his entry-level contract. So year 3, just before he gets into year 3, they sign him to a 6-year contract extension for $5.725 million a year. He signs that August 8th, 2012. He goes on to have a poor season by his standards. 42 games. This is during the lockout shortened season of 2012-2013. Only 24 points, only 13 goals. But that still factors out to about 25 goals, almost 50 points. But again, it's not on pace with what he had as a rookie. So the criticism is there. He bounces back the following season with 33 goals, a new career high, 54 points overall. So his points are off, but he scores goals. So again, nobody complaining as his contract kicked in that year. So he was still on his entry-level contract for that full season before the new one kicked in. The following season, down year, 18 goals, 13 assists, 31 points. And he played 77 games that year, so he didn't have missed games as an excuse. He ends up with 28 goals the following year, so good year, 51 points. And again, he never quite seems to get back to that 63-point mark to that stage until 2016-2017. So 6 years later, he gets 37 goals, 63 points, and that's a tie for the career high. Now, the following year, we're already discussing his extension, what he's going to cost. Does he fit in with Carolina? And intensity questions about his consistency as well. He's not the only goal scorer who tends to go through droughts, but he has some pretty major droughts. Now, the last year he's in Carolina, 24 goals and 49 points overall. So not a horrible year by any standard, but he still finds himself on his way to Buffalo. Now, in Buffalo 2018-2019, so not the season we just had suspended, but the previous season, he hits 40 goals for the first time in his career. Again, 63 points. It's like he's not allowed to get more than 63 points or something. Now, during that season, he still has some goal-scoring droughts. So, you're torn at the end of the year. You're Jason Botterill. You've got a 40-goal scorer sitting across the table from you to negotiate a contract. You have a team in Buffalo that hasn't been in the playoffs since about 1928. And you need to get them into the playoffs because fans are realizing the century's coming up since you've been in them, and they're getting kind of restless. If he walks as a free agent, the optics of that are terrible. Now, people are going to say, but the contract, and I'm not going to argue with that. When he signs this June 7th of last year, 2019, I said it was rich. There were a lot of people that agreed. That's a lot of money for Jeff Skinner. A guy who scores 40 goals, doesn't score a point a game, but he's only scored 40 goals once in his entire career. Now, this season, absolute disaster. 59 games played altogether, 14 goals, 9 assists, 23 points. If you look at this season, the only year that's close to this one is the 2014-2015 season where he had 31 points. The overall totals are not completely off between what he went through this season and what he went through in 2014-2015. He bounced back the year after with 28 goals and 51 points. Here's where, again, it gets kind of hazy. So, his career average, he has 258 goals in his career, comes out with .36 goals per game played. Points record, .65 points per game over his career. Per 82 games played, his average is 29.5 goals, 53.3 points. The question when it comes to Skinner is this. So they put him back with Eichel. They refined their chemistry in the fall. Everything's fantastic. Everybody's healthy, right? Including all of us. He's had 4 seasons of 30-plus goals. Bam, 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 and bam. He's had 1 year of 28, which is close. Not going to lie. That's close. And this is where we can have that debate. And it's sort of like the debate I have every time that a goal is scored just after a power play ends. It's not a power play goal, but it kind of is. So 28 goals, is it 30? No. Is it darn close? Absolutely. So, again, it's one of those conversations we can have about stats and how we view them. But technically, that's four seasons of 30 plus goals. And he should be able to get back there again. He turns 28 on May 16th. But if he's a 30 goal scorer going forward, let's say that he bounces back, has 30 goals, 55 points, that $9 million still seems like a lot of money. It's an 8-year contract till 2027. He's got 7 more years left at $9 million per. It's a contract that was out of necessity. They couldn't lose Jeff Skinner. They couldn't have that where he gets a 40-goal season and then he leaves. All right, we found somebody that can play with Eichel. We're not going to pay him. It would have been... And again, I don't know how you would rectify this. On the free agent market as a UFA, absolutely somebody would have given him $9 million. I have no doubt in my mind a team somewhere would have looked at that 40-goal season. They wouldn't have looked at the droughts. Like his first half of that season was crazy good, and then it tailed off in the second half, but it still hit 40. Somebody's going to look at those 40 goals and say that's worth $9 million to me. And I don't know which team it would have been. Maybe Arizona looks at that last summer if he hits the market. They say, you know what? That's a goal scorer. We can bring him in here. That could put us over the top. We can find cap space. We're Arizona. So there are teams that would have been in on that. Does he score more than this? Maybe not. I saw a comment today that kind of led to me making this video where they were talking about Skinner. It was in an article I saw, and they said his tradition of up year, down year continues. And I thought, well, no. So he has the down year, up year, down year, up year. Okay. But this 51-point season isn't a down year, and then you can't say the 31-point season was an up year either. So we could just say it's a mixed bag with Jeff Skinner. Maybe next year he gets back to 40. I guess the question I have, and this is more to Buffalo fans, but to all of us as well, does Jeff Skinner ever justify that contract? What would he have to do to justify that contract? Is it a matter of Buffalo getting into the playoffs and him scoring some goals in the playoffs and them actually getting to a second round, getting to a conference final, getting somewhere? Or is it a matter of him scoring 40 goals every year? $9 million a year is a lot of money. I'd be interested to know what you guys think regarding the career of Jeff Skinner. Is this 14 goals, rationing out to maybe almost 20 in the season if he played a full 82 at that rate? Is that closer to reality? Was 40 just that career year we're not going to see again? Or can he get back to that 37-40 mark next season? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.